Well, hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're new, welcome. I'm Cody Montarbo, the founder of Montarbo Skincare, always here to help you have the most healthy, glowing, and gorgeous skin. All right, so in today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can take your Retin-A results to the next level. So if you're using Retin-A now and you think it might not be working, or you just think that you could get a better result with it, then I'm gonna share with you some of the things that I do and that I share with my clients to do to just kind of step it up to that next level so that you can get a better result with Retin-A. Now, a lot of people have opinions on my videos about my Retin-A videos, so if you're gonna take something I say out of context and not watch the whole video, then you probably shouldn't be here anyway, because I talk real quick and I'm just like in the moment here with you guys, okay? My intention always is to keep you safe, but always to get the most bang for your buck and to help you get like insider tricks and tips so that you can like go, oh, okay, I got this, Cody taught me how to take care of my skin, how to use the right ingredients and the ingredients that really matter so that I can feel empowered by my skincare regimen instead of feeling stressed and overwhelmed, because that's what I see happening a lot. People are using way too many products, they don't know how they use them, and you know, it just becomes very overwhelming, not to mention very costly. So anyway, now here's the thing, I'm gonna say things that are probably against what it says on the bottle, or on the instructions of Retin-A, so please follow the instructions of your doctor, your provider, the instructions on the box. Take this information as just information, but if you want to play an experiment, keep it safe. You're doing this at your own risk. These are the things that I've learned through a long time of using Retin-A and just mixing it and doing all kinds of different things so that I could get a better result, and then I could teach my clients how to get a better result. So the first thing is, a lot of people say that Retin-A is not working. You could just have oilier and thicker skin and may need to use a little bit more Retin-A. But the reason they have it on there is because it's a medicine and you want to build up your tolerance, because if you don't build up your tolerance, then you're not going to use it and you're not going to get the benefit of that. So that's another reason why that is. Somebody also has mentioned about it getting in the blood system. Do your own research on that. I've done a lot of research on that. I use a 3% in my office. They get a beautiful chemical peel, which I think I might actually show you just how to do a Retin-A chemical peel using only Retin-A. Only if you guys want that, let me know below this video. So, but here's the thing. If you don't consistently use the Retin-A, you're not gonna get the result that it promises. And how it works is it needs to be compounded in the skin. It needs to be consistent. You gotta keep putting it in the skin. Otherwise, you're not gonna really get the result, which is that it needs to get to a certain depth into the skin to transform it and to regenerate it, to help recondition everything. So it's not something you can just kind of do like a moisture mask when you feel dry and you wanna put it on. It needs to be consistent, 3 times a week or more. So if you're not getting the result that you want because you feel like it's not getting in your skin, then I do recommend that you exfoliate. I'm just showing you this because it's my alpha hydroxy cleanser, but that's the only reason. You can use something similar like that, an alpha hydroxy acid, 10% or lower, nothing higher, because you're gonna cause a little bit too much heat in the skin, too much exfoliation, and then you could have a reaction with the Retin-A. Trying to get the Retin-A deeper into the skin, then you want to lift off that top layer of dead skin anyway, and then get that in there. I don't recommend you do that every time you do Retin-A, but at least the first couple times, just to really lift off that skin, you could definitely do that. Another thing you could do is you could see a professional and get a really good facial or a light chemical peel, and then you'll notice everything you use after that, the products will penetrate way deeper and you'll usually get a much better result. Of course, depending on the clinician, I don't know. But that is the feedback I usually get. So now if you are experiencing a lot of irritation and redness and you want to still use it but you're nervous, then I'm going to tell you a little bit opposite of what to do, and that is to moisturize your skin first. I know that it says to keep it dry, but I do this. I've played around with all this stuff. You know, sometimes the skin is a little too dry from the water and chlorine inside the water when we wash our face, and just maybe what we've done during the day. So if your skin is really dry and then you put Retin-A on, it's like, you know, like a raisin. It's like you're trying to put on Retin-A into a dry raisin. So I think you should moisturize first using something as simple as CeraVe, preferably something that doesn't have a lot of dimethicone in there. You can use also a liquidy serum that has like hyaluronic acid in there, so it's a more gel-based serum. Instead of a cream, you can use that. I'm sure you could probably find one at the Ordinary, something cheap. It doesn't need to be too expensive. If you're gonna use something like this, hyaluronic, then make sure that it soaks into your skin a few minutes before you put on the Retin-A, and then put on the Retin-A afterwards. Or you can put on the moisturizer 10 minutes after you put on your Retin-A. It just depends. In general, I don't recommend that you use a product that has a lot of dimethicone or silicone in there, because I think that it could not allow the absorption of the Retin-A as much as we would want. So I've tested that with a couple products, in fact, and I didn't feel like it was going into the skin. It started to ball up with the dimethicone a little bit. So that's why I just use a little bit more of a simple moisturizer. And then you should, I think, be moisturizing with a moisture mask the following day, just in general. So you use your Retin-A, the next day do a moisture mask, just to love your skin and prep it. This way you're not going to get a lot of the irritation, even the dryness and the flaking, and it'll still give you that nice plump result, especially if you're working on wrinkles. Now the next thing is, if you are wanting, like let's say you have melasma and it just is like, it's not going away, and you're using Retin-A now, and you're like, really, Cody? I thought you said Retin-A would help with my melasma and discoloration. Well, listen, sometimes the Retin-A needs a little bit of a help, okay? So what I was taught is that you would take your, I'm testing this right now, I've been testing this for months to bring it to market. Now, you can't do this with a gel Retin-A, it can only be a cream formula. And the percentage doesn't really matter, whether that's 0.025, 0.05, or 0.10 or 0.1. It doesn't really matter. Of course, I always recommend start lower and then work your way up. But let's just say that's a pea-sized amount. And I do put more, just so you know. I mean, this is probably the amount that I put on my skin. And what I do is I rub it all in my skin, and then I put more on the eye area and the forehead, where I really want to generate more new skin cells so that I can just get a little bit more collagen rebuilding. I do put a lot more because I've done so much to my skin that just the normal amount doesn't really work on me anymore. So anyway, I put about that much on my skin, which is, let's just say it's a pea-sized amount, okay? Just to keep people happy, because some people came for me after I said I recommend that you use more. So, and then I'm gonna drip 3 drops of Lysorbic vitamin C. This is a 12%. Make sure it's Lysorbic, make sure it's good, make sure that it works, and make sure that it's just vitamin C. And then I cocktail it together like this, and I mix it. And now this will be driven deeper into my skin, the vitamin C, because of the retinoic acid in here. So you're gonna have to experiment. Some people might argue that the formulation, it might change the formulation. You know, I don't know. I mean, you're gonna have to test this yourself. I'm not gonna go into the scientific aspect of that, but I've used so many different Retin-As, and when I was with Obagi, we always mixed his vitamin C with Retin-A, like almost always. So you could, if you didn't want to mix it, put on the vitamin C first, but you need to be careful because it's oil soluble. So if you put too much into the skin first and then try to do the Retin-A, it could get really sticky, and I don't think it will absorb as much as that you want. So I think you should just mix it together, is my opinion. Of course, follow the instructions of your care provider. Now, let's say you have melasma that just won't quit, and you're trying to brighten your skin a little bit more. You have post-inflammation hyperpigmentation and discoloration. But my main focus is melasma, because a lot of people are struggling with melasma, and they're buying cheap-ass creams that are never going to work on them because they're misleading, because they make them sound like, you know, this brightener is, and it's only licorice, this brightener, or 2% alpha-arbutin. Well, those are very low percentages, and if you're struggling deeply or terribly with melasma, you need to step it way up a bit, because licorice and those things, they brighten you a little, that blocks the enzyme of tyrosine from overproducing that pigment. That's a very key thing, and what does that is hydroquinone. So mine is a 4% hydroquinone with licorice, with alpha-arbutin, and with kojic acid. This one I'm trying to see about bringing to market. I'm not quite sure yet. It's almost too strong. So what I do with this one, about a pea-sized amount with the hydroquinone, and then I put the Retin-A with it, and I mix it like this. Now, if you're worried that they'll break down the formulation, then put on the medicine first, which is the Retin-A, and then immediately put on the hydroquinone, and put a little bit more on the areas that you're really trying to brighten, wherever you have that melasma. See, the thing with the Retin-A is it's kind of like your vehicle. See, you're cheating a little bit, is you're using the Retin-A and how they've compounded it to be able to travel into the skin, and then whatever's like on there is like piggybacking off that. The hydroquinone will piggyback off that retinoic acid and then get a little deeper into the skin and work on the areas of discoloration and melasma below the surface of the skin where you really want to be working on them. All this stuff on the top layer we don't really care about. We actually care about where the damage is coming from, which is the cause, which is deeper into the skin. Usually it's a lot of times dermal. So, all right guys, I know I said a lot. I went on and on today. I'm sorry if this video was a little confusing. I just thought maybe I'd come on here and share with you like how I take my Retin-A to the next level, how you could take your Retin-A to the next level. If you're concerned with possibly ruining the formulation of the Retin-A, you don't need to mix them and cocktail them. I just do that. I do that in a facial too, but you could just put on the Retin-A first, make sure it's always Retin-A first, and then put on the following skin brightener or acne agent or whatever it is right on top of it afterwards. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them below this video. And as always, stay gorgeous, and I will see you really soon in a new video. Bye-bye.